Well, that's not for me to know what the others will be talking about, but I will for sure be talking about the need also in the cooperation over the Atlantic for a green transition of agriculture, and I think that is very important. But I believe, of course, also the trade question will be in discussion. But
the mini trade deal, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, what's the biggest barrier to it? What needs to be addressed for it to happen?
Well, I'm not addressing that question,
Okay.
so therefore I don't want to give you.
On the green transition, there's been a lot of talk, a lot of ministers saying you can't expect us to do more with less. Do you feel that in some ways the environmental conditions of the CAP are being held hostage by people in a budget argument?
Well, I would say that the most important question for I think a lot of people and also governments, as what do they say, is that we now get the necessary green transition and you can live up to our climate ambitions, also the EU ambitions, and that will need agriculture to play a major part and a much bigger part in that than you have seen already. And I have the point of view that wherever, whatever the budget will be, then as a big part as possible of the budget that might be for the agriculture will have to be used to support green transition and the climate change.
And agriculture is the only major EU sector that has no low carbon roadmap for 2050. Is that sustainable? You know, does agriculture need to start pulling its weight more?
Yeah, that's for sure that we can see in all countries that the agriculture sector is lagging behind when it comes to live up to the targets, and you will have to be to have much stronger goals in that, and also lots of stronger actions, and the new agricultural policy will have to give us the tools to do that in all countries.
Last question: Can you give us any sense of what kind of landing zone for targets for pesticides and fertilizers you'll be looking for?
Well, we are a country in Denmark, which, for example, on the use of antibiotics, have, I think, one of the lowest levels in Europe. One of the ways to reach that is that we have introduced a certain tool called the yellow card, where the agriculture will get punished if it goes over a certain limit of use of antibiotics. And you have to be tough on that when it comes to both antibiotics but also fertilizers and pesticides.
Okay, so you think that could be applied at an EU level, perhaps?
I hope so. That's what I'll be working for.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Of course.